Hey everyone, James Reeves, TFB TV, here at Black Trident in Austria with my buddy Wolfgang. We're going to talk about a topic that I am very passionate about. This is something I asked you guys. We were walking around in the freezing ass cold. You guys can keep all this snow bullshit. I hate it. But I love hanging out with you guys. I think you make possibly the best holster in the world. It's a shame that we can't get them in the United States. I mean, I've seen your operation here. I love the stuff that you guys have made. It's been great getting to know you over the years, and I'm really excited for the day eventually we get your stuff in the US, but we're chatting, we're walking around the factory chatting, and I'm like, you know what are the most popular concealed carry guns that you guys have here in Europe? Because a lot of countries here in Europe, a lot of them don't allow you to carry, but a lot of them do, including, like, I think about the Czech Republic, for example, where it's relatively easy for them to get a concealed handgun permit. I'm voicing my thoughts aloud, saying, what are the most popular? You say, James, well, that's funny because we've got the numbers, we've got the statistics, because that's what we do. So Wolfgang, walk me through the top 5 most popular concealed handguns in Europe.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, Black Trident, you already said we do holsters. So we have a very good statistic of which holster models and which firearms are bought. Now, let me ask you a question before I start. What are the most popular concealed carry handguns from your perspective in the US?
Too easy. 1911, no, kidding. Yeah, that's what probably everyone thinks in Europe, right? No, I'm thinking like the SIG P365 series. I'm thinking the Glock 4243, 48 series. Maybe Glock 19s, Glock 26s, also extremely popular. The Smith & Wesson Shield, I don't even know if you guys have those around here, but the Shield series, also very popular, just off the top of my head.
First thing, geographical difference. So since Sig Sauer moved to the US, we have far less people purchasing Sig Sauer pistols. They're a little bit more expensive than just like, I mean, we're in Austria, the land of Glock, so
yeah, sure.
That's where where all the good
stuff. They give you one when you move here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you're born
with Red Bull, so it's
exactly. I know you guys do have awesome stuff here.
And so Sig Sauer is very uncommon. Also, Smith & Wesson pistols. Although you have many reviews about them, and I watch all of them. So here's the thing: very uncommon in Europe. I think in terms of holsters, you can count them by a hand, just within a year. How many are here?
That doesn't surprise me because, again, those are both U.S. companies. Everybody thinks SIG, like Germany, Switzerland, but no, I mean they're a U.S. company now, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So let's start with the top 5 and with the 5th place. So one pistol that is very common in Germany for concealed carry is this here. This is a P2000 SK, and the reason why this is so popular, because for many German police officers, this is standard issue. And so they're always searching for a way how to actually conceal this firearm. Yeah, and so super neat pistol, very rare, I would say. Also, maybe outside of Europe. I don't know if you've ever seen one.
It's popular in the U.S. I mean, it's quite popular. Not as popular as, like, say, Glocks or SIG or Smith & Wesson, but I mean, it's still very popular, It's a great gun.
So this is maybe something that is because of the geographical differences. And also what we have to say is, so Austria is relatively, I would say, a very free country when it comes to gun laws. But in Germany, on the other side, it's very strict. And so a lot of people have to stick with what they can get. So that's the P2000 SK.
Now, 2 questions about that real quick. I hate to interrupt you, but first of all, I want to establish the fact that you have a formal firearms background. Like, your education is in firearms engineering, so you are a gun guy through and through. What do you think about the P2000?
Well, I think it's an interesting system. What I always think is very funny are the mag toggles here. So this is just something that is like from my user experience, like a little bit weird. But I know a lot of people also like it, so nothing about it. And from the system, of course, if you look nowadays, especially from the triggers and so on, there is something that can be improved. So, but in total, cool German gun, works, and is standard issue to a lot of people out there.
How much would one of those cost in Austria?
The P2000, I'm not sure how much they would cost, but they are probably around, we bought this one for about 650, 700. in that area.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
about the same, maybe even cheaper than the U.S.
Yeah,
Not
euros.
surprising.
Euros. So that's always the thing.
Yeah. We'll have to do the math on that. All
Yeah.
right, what do we have next? Number 4.
So the next pistol that we
Another
have,
HK.
another HK. So HK made in Germany, so that's why you have a lot of them around here. And in Austria, it's the same with Glock, so you have a lot of Glocks around here. So now the next thing that we have here, that is the P30. So don't get me wrong, this is a P30L, so the sporting version. We don't have the short version here,
Right.
but the P30 is from all the handguns that we sell with concealed carry holsters, the 4th place. And yeah, super cool system. Also a very good competitor to the SFP9, which is also very popular in Austria and throughout whole Europe.
And that is the SFP9, I believe we call the VP9.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yes.
So this is
Yeah.
also something interesting, because when we started making holsters, we did like a very big library of all the firearms that are there, and we also had to get like all the different names, how they call in different countries. So VP9, that's the SFP9 in Europe.
To me, I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, that's a pretty big gun to carry. But then again, I've been walking around in that big ass UF Pro police jacket. So you guys, maybe 6 months out of the year, it's not unusual for you to be walking around with more clothing so you can conceal a bigger gun. But that's cool. So we've got HK, we got HK. Please, God, don't tell me number 3 is also an HK.
No, it's not. So now we come to the more, I would say, guns that are like very, very common, especially in Austria, the land of Glock. So if we look at the next concealed carry gun, so the most liked is definitely the Glock 19 on place number 3. Also one of the, I think, the most sold models of Glock itself.
Oh yeah.
And also, like, there's also the thing with optics coming to pistols. So this is just a trend that developed in the last 2 to 3 years, that many people suddenly started thinking, hey, I could throw on an optic on my pistol.
Right.
Versus in the US, where it's just like, you don't have an optic on your pistol, the question. So this is something that a lot of people are actually upgrading right now. And the Glock 19, like before the Glock 19, there was the Glock 26 that was considered to be the carry gun for most of the people. But with the Glock 19, it's more switched to that. So the Glock 26 is very, is, I would say, rather rare today in 2023 because of all the people thinking about, okay, I want to get a light on, I want to use the rail space I have up here. So, and the Glock 19 is definitely a platform where you can mount nearly all of the lights that are out there. The next firearm, this is now place number 2. We have a model that many of you might already love, so it's the Glock 43.
Oh yeah.
So not the 43X. We might come to that maybe in another place. So the Glock 43, when it came out, was one of the most sold items in Austria. We just, for the sold items, I can just speak for Austria because there I know it. And here's the thing, that you were the only light you could attach to it, because people are getting more concerned about, okay, hey, I need a weapons light because most of the things that happen around here are in the dark. And the past few days, the sun goes down at 4:30, at 4 o'clock in the winter, so you definitely need a light. Now, the thing with the 43 was that you can only attach like a TLR6 or something to it. And here's the thing, that more people wanted to, in terms of the ergonomics, they wanted more and more light power. Now, this brings us to place number 1.
Sure.
Which is definitely the 43X.
One of my favorites, if not my favorite.
Yeah. So this is, in terms of our whole statistics, the most bought firearm that is there for concealed carry. Now, speaking of all the advantages that you have, there are also MOS versions, so if you want to run red dots and more. But also here the rail, where you can attach TRL7 sub, TRL6 lights, Surefire XSC. So there's a lot that you can actually mount to here. Definitely a cool platform, and I think it will be very popular for a very long time.
They're making them right up the street too.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a guy this morning, like the damn paper boy.
Yeah.
He's throwing them out in people's houses, right?
Yeah,
is
sure.
Is that what happens around here?
Standard issue.
How much do these cost? in Austria. I bet it might be more expensive than they are in the United States. I'm just curious.
Yeah, so Glocks, depending on the model, the new ones, they are around 700, 800
Euro?
Yeah, euro always. And used ones you can get between 500, 600.
Okay, well, before we close this one out, I mean, let's plug your most popular holster. What is it?
Okay, so the most popular holster for concealed carry that we have right now, the Quasimodo holster. So the Quasimodo holster is a holster model that we developed specifically for the purpose of carrying full-size or compact-size firearms concealed with normal clothing. Because the thing always with concealed carries, if you adapt to your environment, in Austria, people are like more always tied up when it comes to clothing. So it's you know that you stand out if you dress differently.
Right.
I would call it like that. Now the Quasimodo holster has like a bulge on the back, which actually allows you to bring the firearm closer to the body, and also has a little twist, so the grip module stands like very close to the body. Now, why was this like important topic to us for the compact and full-size guns? Because many Austrian and also throughout whole Europe police officers get a standard issue Glock 19, Glock 17, and then they sometimes have missions where it's like, hey, you have to conceal carry this. And then they're like, okay, what do I do? Adapt with clothing and so on. And this is really a holster that you can wear with standard clothing, standard business look.
How much does it cost?
Right now, like for the standard Glock 43 without the light, we are at 129 euros.
Okay, all right. Well, I gotta say, Wolfgang, this was very enlightening. I appreciate it. You guys can just call me Quasimodo because I got a bulge too. Guys, thanks a ton for watching. We're going to bring you more from Black Trident here in Austria. Love you. Take care.